Howdy, who all my stock market gamblers? Welcome today. I'm Tall Mike. So glad you're here. What do we got going on? Well, we got the stock market having that pullback, right? I mean, we sold off kind of hard for a couple of days, coming down, coming down. Now, is it okay to buy the dip? That's the question a lot of people are asking. Now, what I do, I look at the HYG. The HYG is the junk bonds. Now, if the HYG is not coming down with the market, I say it's still okay to buy the dip. It means that the Federal Reserve, they got your back, right? They're in there buying the junk bonds still. They're in there buying the TLT is the long bonds, right? They're in there buying the bond market. If the bond market starts to come down, then you're going to want to run for the hills. But look at the junk bonds. They stayed up the whole pullback. I think it's okay to buy the dip. That's just my take. Your take may be completely different, but I think that they're going to push it up higher one more time. 6,400, maybe 6,500. Came down almost to 5,900, and now we're going to get a little bit of a bounce back up. I think they're going to push it up one more time, and I do that by looking at the HYG, which is the junk bonds. If the junk bonds aren't coming down, Fed still has your back, still going to push it up higher, still going to plow money into the market. Now, there's a couple of things you got to be careful about. We're very close to a top. Now, why do I say that? I say that for, several reasons. One, insider trading of executives of companies, right? It's at a record high. They're selling. Even Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan, right? He's the CEO of JP Morgan. Anyways, $230 million he sold in stocks, right? $230 million. Now, to him, that's a small number. Now, how does someone get that rich being a banker, right? How they do that? They do that by the bank taking your deposits and going to this casino and gambling, the casino being the stock market, right? That way they can increase their profits and he gets a percentage of that. And that's how he makes hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Now, the interesting thing, if it crashed and burned, our government would bail him out with our taxpayer money, right? So it's kind of like going to the real casino, the roulette table, and there's red and black. You bet on red, black, so you make a bet, right? Well, you get the profits. Okay, if you bet wrong, well, someone else is going to pay for it, right? There's a lot of this going on in the banking system. Now, what really upsets me about JP Morgan, okay, here's the thing. They're the ones that manipulate the silver market, right? They are the most manipulated of the silver market, the SLV. They're the custodian for the SLV, right? Okay, so they manipulate the silver market and they got caught red-handed. Okay, so they paid $1 billion fine, $1 billion, okay, $1 billion. I think that's probably the largest fine the CFTC ever laid out. The CFTC is the Commodity Future Trading Commission. I know them well. I had a little run-em with them a while back. But anyways, the CFTC gave them a $1 billion fine. And they did even put their head silver trader in jail. He's sitting in jail to this day. Right now, he's sitting there rotting away in jail. But JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, he's still collecting a percentage of all this. You see, would you be willing to pay $1 billion fine if you made $20 billion on the trade? I think the answer would be yes. I'll pay that $1 billion fine and make it look like a parking ticket. Well, they shocked him a little bit, put that head guy in jail. But this is how the bankers make all this money. Now, the banks are not safe because the casino is very risky and they've already lost a lot of your money. But yet Jamie Dimon just sold $230 million of his company, JP Morgan, the stock. Now, does he know something? My guess is he does. He knows the bank is not as safe as they make it sound. None of the banks are. JP Morgan's probably one of the safer ones. The fall guy everybody's talking is going to be Bank of America. And I believe that because they have a 1 billion ounce naked short position on the silver market. Once silver takes off, Bank of America is not going to make it. Wells Fargo, somewhere in between. You get one of these big banks to follow, intertwined, they're all going to be playing the domino effect. Now, the other reason I want to talk about here a little bit, why the stock market is very close to a top. Okay, it's called leverage, right? Margin debt. Margin debt is at a record high. I mean, people are borrowing money to put it into the casino. Borrow money, put it into the stock market, right? And they're gambling with it, and they got margin debt at record highs. But it's worse than that. It's worse than that. See, it's not just margin debt. It's easy option trading, right? Okay, now if you go back to the Great Depression, it wasn't really the stock market that brought it all down. It was the option trading, or the derivatives, if you will. They were called bucket shops back in the day. Bucket shops, you'd go in there and you'd bet on the market, and it was a derivative trade like an option is today. We don't have to go to the bucket shops to place the trade. We can just click a button on our keyboard and we're in the derivative trades of the stock market. But the options are at record high, and this is more leverage. The more leverage you get, the closer to the top you are. And we also got things like the triple ETFs, right? Double ETFs, triple ETFs, quadruple ETFs. I mean, it's insanity the amount of leverage that's in the market. We'll just talk a little bit about this. Got to poke a little fun at all the Bitcoiners that watch me, Anyways, Bitcoin had a little bit of a pullback and everybody's all upset, went down to 86,000. We were up at 107,000 just a couple months ago. So 86,000, that's nothing for Bitcoin. That's a 20% drop. Believe me, it'll drop 80% at some point. Maybe it goes to $1 million first. But okay, so you got the Bitcoiners. They're all leveraged out, okay? Now there's a company called MicroStrategies, love it, run by Michael Saylor, right? Now this was the best performing stock of all the 500 stocks of S&P. It's not in the S&P, it's in the NASDAQ, but it was the best performing. Even if you included the S&P, last year it was the best performing stock. What they do is all they do is they buy Bitcoin. They got a failed computer software company that loses money quarter after quarter, but they go out and they buy Bitcoin. They do it on leverage, right? I mean, it's a leverage play. So last year, MicroStrategies ran up above $500. Where is it trading today? Well, it's trading at $250. Lost 50% of the company in just 2 months. Okay, but I want to talk about the leverage part. Now, they're a leveraged Bitcoin trade, right? So they got leverage in themselves. So MicroStrategies, very leveraged. It was 500, now it's 250. A lot of people bought up at 500. They're really sad. But if you went double ETF leverage on MicroStrategies, which is a Bitcoin leverage, the symbol, if you want to look at, it's quite humorous to me anyways, MSTU. MSTU is the symbol. Anyways, it's a double ETF on MicroStrategies. So 2 months ago, it was trading at $32. And people that are very bullish MicroStrategies were buying this hand over fist, right, at $32. Where is it trading today? Trading at $4. $4, right? I mean, it's lost almost 90% already, right? So if you were in that, you're kind of really sad right now, right? But that's what leverage will do to you. It's great when it's going up, going up. And I mean, MicroStrategies, as it's going up, it keeps buying more Bitcoin, selling more stock to anyone that will buy it so they can go out and buy more Bitcoin. But as Bitcoin starts to come down, Michael Saylor, he's going to lose his company because of the leverage, not because of Bitcoin. I actually think Bitcoin's going to make another run up here. I think Bitcoin will get to 120,000. I think Michael Saylor will have another run up. Maybe he gets back up to 500 from 250. That'd be great, right? Double your money. It's very risky. I'm not recommending that, by the way. But I do think it's not over yet. I mean, it will be over someday for MicroStrategies because of the leverage. Even if Bitcoin makes it, even if the quantum computers don't knock Bitcoin out completely, MicroStrategies is going to get knocked out because he's got too much debt and he doesn't understand the debt model. Look at when that Bitcoin loses 80%, that company's going to go away. It's going to go away real fast. But right now he's a hero. Everybody thinks he's a genius, so we'll move on from that. All right, let's talk a little bit about the housing market, right? Okay, so the housing market, oh man, it's just frozen. Just frozen, right? It's at a standstill. Everybody's up in arms. Oh, they can't sell houses anymore, right? I mean, they think that the rates are too high. Interest rates are too high. It's not the interest rates. Has nothing to do with the interest rates. Your house price is too high, right? So the sales have come to a standstill. No one can afford it, right? It's not the prices. Look at, once you buy the house, you have property taxes. You have insurance. If the house is priced double what it should be, you have to pay double on your property property tax, double on insurance of what you should be paying. The price is too high, right? Now, eventually that's going to give way and it's going to come down, but it's at a standstill right now. And people, they're very frustrated about this. I mean, just last month, 41,000 homes, something like over 5% of the sales fell out of escrow after they were in contracts. As a real estate broker, we hate that. You're in contract, you did all the work, something went wrong. They couldn't get the loan, the house didn't appraise, something went wrong. 41,000 fell out of escrow. Now here's something that people aren't talking about, right? Inventory has doubled, almost up 100% from this time last year over year up 100%. But a lot of people have pulled their properties off the market because they can't get them sold and they're just sitting there, so they take them off the market. This would be called a shadow inventory. Now, if I were in the market with a lot of listings and some people go, Mike, I'm just going to take it off. I'm tired of people not coming into the open houses. It's a ghost town out there. No one wants to buy my house because I want the price Billy Bob got, and I'm not going to sell if I don't get Billy Bob's price, right? So they pull the house off the market, expecting things to get better down the road where they can get out at where Billy Bob got out at. I got news for them. Things aren't going to get better, but 10% of all listings were pulled off. They didn't sell. They were pulled off the market last month. So 41,000 fell out of escrow. 10% of the listings got pulled off, and inventory is still increasing. Isn't that incredible? I mean, you can look at the home builders, their stocks going down. Home builder stocks already down 30 to 40% in this great economy. If it's so great, why is their stock down? Tell you why. They can't get the houses sold. They have too much inventory sitting vacant. There's shadow inventory. They don't even report them when it's a new build, because if they report it as inventory, then they have to pay property taxes on it. So they keep it off the market and say they're still building it, right? So there's a lot of shadow inventory, 10% that pulled them off. So if they pulled them off, told me, Mike, I'm not going to sell till you get me a buyer up here, I know I got that as a shadow inventory. They want to sell. And I keep it as a pocket listing. That way I can get both sides of the commission. And that's what nobody's talking about. Why is real estate at a standstill? Why is it frozen up? Nobody's talking about the dumb realtor, right? Now, people think you don't need to use a realtor. They think we're completely worthless. But here's the thing. You took us away in August, and since August, every month has been lower and lower sales. Why? Why aren't the sales going? Because a real estate broker, we don't know how to sell a house. Let me be frank with you. 99% of agents out there have no clue how to get your house sold. All the agent knows is how to put it on the multiple listing service. Now, here's the thing. Once we put it on the multiple listing service, we cannot advertise for a buyer broker to come and give us an offer anymore. We're not allowed. It's illegal. That's what the court system came up with to screw the public. Excuse my profanity there, but they come up with that. And the public is getting hurt really bad right now because they're stuck in their homes. They can't get out, and nobody's talking about what about the real estate agent? What if we let the real estate agent do his job again and advertise for a buyer broker to come in and bring the offers? Hey, things might start flowing a little quicker again. That'd be an uptick. If you know the Donald, somebody write him a letter, let him know how to solve the situation. But the real estate agents are the ones that are slowing this down. It's not the agent's fault. We can't do our job. We're handcuffed. They won't let us do our job. They made it illegal for us to do our job. So now we got to go back to the third world countries, places like, I don't know, Costa Rica. I got a friend there. She's been trying to sell a house 3 years on the market. Why? Because their MLS isn't like ours, but now our MLS is like theirs, multiple listing service. Now we're like the third world countries, and we're going to be at a standstill until we get this fixed. Now, eventually they might get wise. They might start to fix this. But we got problems out there right now. We got a lot of problems that people aren't even talking about. I know the Donald's got his hand full. I mean, he's got so many things to fix. And right now he's going to have to start thinking about fixing the stock market. Stock market's going to push up one more time, but then that bear market's going to take over, and it's going to be a drop much larger than 20%. But that's just my take. The Moon Boys say we're going straight up. If you like this stuff, give me the thumbs up. Punch that subscribe button. Everybody get out there. Have a great day. We'll talk again real soon. Bye-bye now.